Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Batwoman Season 2, and they released a full trailer for Season 2. It's just under a month away, so it's Batwoman time, so let's watch it and then we'll talk about it.
Twinkle, twinkle, little bat, I wonder where you're at.
The city needs a hero. It needs a Batwoman.
I don't want to give up hope that Kate's alive.
Give me a chance.
Kate is Batwoman.
Time to be powerful. I met the new girl. She's gonna be a handful.
Batwoman does not kill.
Boo! Alice is planning something big.
Don't kill me, but I made some alterations.
To what, the suit?
New look.
New Batwoman.
Batwoman. New episode starts Sunday, January 17th. Stream free next day, only on the CW app.
So yeah, decent amount to talk about, but of course, before we go everything, we'll go over the synopsis for this season, quote-unquote first episode, whatever you want to call it. Gives us a bit more context, I guess. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know your opinions in the comments section down below about this trailer. Things you thought were interesting and you want to see play out. I'm always curious to hear what your various theories and thoughts are, so let me know in the comments section down below. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video and everything like that, and you want to support the channel, why not drop a like on it? It takes 2 seconds. Ryan Wilder is about to become Batwoman. She's relatable, messy, loyal, a little goofy, and apart from being a lesbian, she couldn't be more different than the woman who wore the Batsuit before her, billionaire Kate Kane. Ryan, who we meet living in her van with only her plant for company, has been made to feel trapped and powerless by the system her whole life and believes the Batsuit is the key to breaking out of it. But what she'll come to discover is that it's not the suit that makes Ryan Wilder powerful, it's the woman inside of it who finds her destiny in changing Gotham City for good. Now I think that's a new synopsis. I can't remember reading that in my entire life, and I've read a couple of synopsises for this season. I think that's new. Now to start off, and I know this is starting off on a bit of a negative note, but I think it would be odd and just a bit weird at this point for me not to address it, seeing the trailer has been out for a week or so, like for a bit, and that is that this trailer was decimated by dislikes. And when I say decimated, I don't mean, oh, it was like 50-50, it was like a 50-50 split or something like that. It was decimated. Now, the trailer has about around 200,000 views on the CW channel, which is decent, seeing that's usually the channels like TV promos and stuff like that, which get the views for these trailers. But the big thing is that it has 18,000 dislikes and only 3,500 likes roughly. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up isn't just to be an idiot or something. It's because I'm curious what you as a viewer actually think. I usually don't trust stuff like that because things get mobbed. I think we all know why this trailer has that many dislikes, and it's not because of the trailer itself. It's a certain crowd that would have attracted the negative attention or hate to this video for whatever reason it would be, mostly because they need to make negative content for their channel because it's what people thrive off. And you know that they'll mob things to make it sound like this is what most people think, like the majority. But I know some would not be the biggest fan of the show at the current stage now due to like the changing of Kate Kane as Batwoman to a completely new character, someone not even from the comics. So I can completely understand if you're against the show now for that reason, or you have issues with it at this point because of that reason. But yeah, I know this is a bit long-winded and just out there, but I'm just curious whether you actually liked or disliked the trailer as a whole, because even the trailer has almost double the comments than it does likes on the video, which is insane for a YouTube video, and usually a sign that a trailer has been mobbed. Now, I'm not saying the trailer is a 10 out of 10. It could have been better, like obviously, but it definitely doesn't deserve this much hate. And you know me, I'm pretty fair. If something's bad, I'll say it's bad, and if something's good, I'll say it's good. But anyway, onto the trailer itself. So we'll just go over like the major talking points because some shots have already been in shorter promos. And then we also have some promo images which showcase even more. So we're not going to dwell on like everything. It will be here for 7 hours. So we do start off with Alice singing a weird rendition of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star towards Batwoman. Now, it's unclear whether it's about the new Batwoman of Ryan Wilder or it's more referring to Kate Kane's Batwoman due to what's going on with her at the beginning of this season. It's hard to tell. I don't think it's necessarily something to overthink, but I think it's worth mentioning. Now, in regards to Kate Kane specifically, we do see this newspaper, I was going to say clipping, or like front page with the headline of Whatever Happened to Kate Kane, which is funnily enough also the title for episode 1. So the show has a hard task of balancing the story of, well, whatever happened to Kate Kane, while also introducing Javicia Leslie's Ryan Walder into the show, and presumably by the end of the first episode, she is in Kate's old Batwoman suit and is fighting someone as like a final battle for the episode. That's most likely how it would play out roughly. As I've said since the point where we knew what was really going on with this show in season 2, I said it was most likely going to be quite the sloppy or like messy transition from one lead character to another. Obviously, the easy choice would just be to recast Kate Kane and move on with the story from season 1 like nothing really happened. But the choice was made to bring in a completely new character to take over the mantle, and I think they would have known it wasn't really going to be an easy swap. So it will be interesting to see how it is done, not only in this first episode, but just in the first few to several episodes as a whole. Now, we do have this scene of this like big group of supporters of Batwoman and also protesters against the Crows by the looks of it. And you might be thinking like, well, hold on, how did they do this scene during COVID? I thought they couldn't do these big scenes. There were a lot of people there. Now, from what I know, this is actually a scene that was filmed for season 1 and was filmed before COVID actually shut things down. Also, I'm pretty sure this was filmed in Chicago, which had been used a few times in season 1, mainly earlier in the season for like street shots and walking around scenes, but they came back to do this scene by the sounds of it. And I don't think it's going to be used anymore like Chicago, at least during this like COVID era where travel in and out of Canada isn't really an option. So I'm interested to see how it's, repurposed from what it would have been in season 1 to how it will be used in season 2. If I had to take a guess, it could be like Ryan Wilder's first public showing, or if you want to call it as Batwoman, but that's just a guess. Now, we do see a few shots of Ryan Wilder. For those that don't know, she lives in a van. It was in the synopsis, obviously. Now, it will be interesting to see whether she had previous interactions with Kate's Batwoman. Maybe she was saved by her at one point previously, or she just looks up to her as an icon or something like that, or just a role model. But from what it sounds like, she stumbles upon the suit, not Kate's body, but just the suit lying there. So I don't know how they're going to explain that. As I said, I think the first few episodes are going to be a bit sloppy, especially this first one. But that's a big, how do you explain that? Did she get dusted? She just I don't know what happened there. Now, when she puts the suit on in the bathroom here, this could be after that guy shoots her up in the store, attempts to shoot her up in the store she was in. So she puts it on quickly to take him down. Not really sure who or what her first takedown will be. I'm assuming it's the guy shooting, but we'll have to wait and see. Who is he? I don't know. Now, we do have a shot of the Batmobile. We've seen it before, but this is like the repurposed one. I think the shot of it we see later is not the repurposed one with all the red. So this is like the red one, which will be in like a later episodes. I think the one we see later is just as it is black. Now, we see her taking down what appears to be a Scarecrow goon. I was going to say groon. What's a goon? A goon. It hasn't been confirmed whether Scarecrow is the villain for this season or not, but he is supposed to have a connection with Ryan Wilder's past, so it wouldn't be too big of a shock if he is the villain, or he's somehow in this season in some way, shape, or form. But don't be surprised if there's more Scarecrow stuff later in the season. And also, maybe related to Scarecrow, you do see this guy with like a light up mask, like he's at a rave or something, who could also be a Scarecrow related goon. It's not that subtle. I don't know if you'd be walking around doing that if you're doing criminal activities. You stand out like a Christmas tree, or like a guy with a light up mask. But I mean, it looks like there's like stitches that are designed on the mask, so it could be Scarecrow stuff. Anyway, he is being chased by presumably Batwoman in the Batmobile, but I think this is the Batmobile when it doesn't have all the red on it, but it is dark. So maybe that shot that we saw earlier in the trailer with the red on it is this exact same shot and it's in a later episode. I don't know. Now, the only thing that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me in this trailer is that Ryan Wilder was completely able to redesign the Batwoman suit to her liking. I mean, we saw in season 1 when it went from like the Batman suit that had been repurposed to fit Kane into the Batwoman suit where it had all the red detailing. But at the end of the day, they just like sort of spray painted some stuff and put a wig on it. Like that was it. This new suit, well, it's a new suit. It's completely different. But I don't know. Maybe Ryan Wilder's a budding fashion designer and artist, and she can do this in a whim without breaking a sweat. Who knows? But we do see the shot of her in the new suit at the end. I think we all agree the new suit looks pretty cool. Supposedly this is Victor Zsasz. He is meant to be in this season, and apparently this is him. Most of the footage in this trailer is from episode 1, but some shots towards the end around this new suit, like this one with her and Victor Zsasz, is from later episodes, like episode 3 or 4 roughly. So it's mostly episode 1, but there is some few little shots from later episodes as well chucked in here. But we do have some promo images. So some of them are like similar shots to what we saw in the trailer. So for example, this is one of Sophie. We saw pretty much the same thing. This is most likely a letter from Kate, I think. Did Kate write her a letter at the end of last season? I can't remember. Anyway, I'm guessing it's a letter from Kate. We do have Jacob Kane with the bat signal. We know that he doesn't know that Kate's Batwoman, but maybe he finds out that she was Batwoman, or maybe when Kate disappears and the original Batwoman disappears, he puts 2 and 2 together. I'm not too sure, but he was against Batwoman, but now he's like, Batwoman, come back. So there's a flip there. But it will be interesting to see how his reaction is. I think he is the only person outside of Team Batwoman that should actually still be on the show. I don't understand why Sophie and Julia are still on the show. That's a conversation for when the show actually starts, because I don't know how they're going to make those other characters work, but wait and see what they do. We do see this shot of Ryan Wilder in the tunnels, well, the sewers. I don't know what they are. Tunnels, we'll call them tunnels, in Gotham, and she's in the new suit. Now you might be like, okay, what's this shot? Well, the next promo image is actually Luke and Mary, and I think what's happening here is that Ryan Wilder has gone around wearing the bat suit and everything like that, and these two have been able to track her down and go, hold on, you're wearing Kate's suit. So this is when they're first meeting. I don't think they're going to meet till the end of the first episode. They could maybe even leave it till episode 2. But I think this is their first meeting between Ryan Wilder and Luke and Mary. So I think this is their first time meeting. They'll probably track the suit because it has tech in it. So yeah, this might be a bit of an awkward conversation. And they're obviously just dealing with the loss of Kate at the same time. There is a promo image of Ryan and that plant that she lives with. Maybe in the newspaper that she's reading, there's a story about Batwoman. She's like, hey, I made the news. So maybe that's what's happening there. I think it's just showing her and her plant, her best friend, the plant. Now this one's a bit interesting. I am curious to see who is pointing the gun at Alice here. It could be the Hush Bruce Wayne, or we have like Sophia, who is another villain that's coming in this season, who is meant to have a past with Alice. She was mentioned in season 1, and Alice got a bit triggered and scared by the mention of her name. So that could be who's pointing the gun at her. We'll have to wait and see. I would say maybe Hush Bruce Wayne, but you never know. Could be anyone. But speaking of Hush Bruce Wayne, we see him in the Batcave. Now, I do think this is probably when Kate goes missing and he comes in. Maybe he like heard the news that Kate goes missing or something like that and comes back to Gotham. And you can see him interacting with various weapons on the wall, interacting with Luke. Luke looks a bit shooketh. He looks a bit shocked, just a bit shook. I don't know what's going on with him. Maybe he realizes this isn't the real Bruce, or maybe he's still dealing with the loss of Kate. And Bruce isn't really acting as if, oh, my cousin just died. He's like, hey, I've got the Batcave back. Look at me pretending to be Bruce Wayne. So I don't know what's going on with him, but Luke, 2 different emotions going on in this promo image. But we do see the Hush Bruce Wayne coming up across the Batmobile. Will be interesting to see if he's the one that goes around in a bit of a joyride with it. You can see this is the one that Batwoman will use, but it doesn't have the red detailing on it. Like we see at later points. So will be interesting to see what he does with it in this episode if he does go for a bit of a joyride, but it looks pretty cool. But yeah, that's all to talk about in regards to this trailer and the promo images. Nothing else really to point out unless I missed something completely. But if you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like on the video. It would be awesome if you could do that. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions and everything like that. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.